Hey everybody, welcome back. It's good to be back. Listen, you know, there's always something that we can do to change ourselves. What I mean by that is when we examine ourselves, think about how we think about other people sometimes. Do you do some of the same things? If you do, then maybe you should change how you think and you react to things. Because in the long run, you're actually sometimes falsely accusing people of doing something that they're not doing. Or you're assuming things that you think it's the truth, but you never ask. It's kind of a dark area there. And then when you do ask, look at the source. If they say no, I truly don't mean it that way. See, there's things that we hold in our lives sometimes when things go bad in our lives that we hold on to, that we don't let go, and it filters into different relationships. Jesus says, let everything go. Give it to him. So if we do that, it's done. Let him deal with it. There's nothing wrong with bringing things in your past into conversation to help someone. But when you dwell on it, and you sit and go over and over and over and over and over and over, that person, whatever they did to you, no longer thinks about it. I guarantee it. They may when they come face to face with you, or they see you. It's like I've said it before. It's like the $2 effect. You owe someone $2. They might not even be thinking about it. They might have totally forgot about it, or they just gave up and don't care about it. But it's always on your mind. It's that guilt. See, that's what the enemy likes to do. He likes to keep you in that suffering. You're never going to know something until you go up and ask, or you go up and do something. You can't say, I can't do something, if you've never tried it. It's like saying, I'm no good at this. Or I won't know until I do it. I'm a hands-on. Well, we talked about that too. Hands-on is just basically everybody's hands-on, whether you realize it or not. Think about when you were little. Somebody had to tie your shoe. Eventually, you just start doing it. And you do it every day. Now you don't even think about it. I think about it some days when it's hard to put a shoe on and you go, yeah, that pain hurts. But once I got the shoe on and it's tied, I don't think about it anymore. Think about it. We can change today by going through today and going through the way life is, if we are willing to change ourselves. I say you can do it. You just got to be willing to do it. You got to be willing to let go of the past. You got to be willing to let go of hurt. And I know some of you may go, well, Nelson, I've been through certain things in life, and it's hard to forgive. No, it's not. No, because if Jesus can forgive us, we can forgive. See, again, forgiveness is for yourself. It brings peace to yourself. You're no longer held under those chains. We've all done some crazy things that we probably regret. what's the reason for it? I don't know. I don't question God's purpose, His plan, or His reason. I don't question it. Never have. Never will. And you could say, well, why didn't you do some things prior to that? When He was trying to get you away from something. Well, just like I said, I wasn't following Him. If I'm not following Him, I don't care. There was a big difference. You know, you can call yourself a Christian, but if you call yourself a Christian and you act out of hate and ignorance, that's why when you wear a t-shirt that says Jesus saves, or, you know, the Lord is King, or you put crosses on or anything like that, we are representing Christ. Is your lifestyle what you're doing saying yes? Do you have bumper stickers on your car that says Jesus loves you and all this, and all of a sudden you cut somebody off and then open the window and give them hand gestures? Don't necessarily think that's being very Christ-like. See, and that's why the devil does what he does, because people look at that. I know I was one of them. And I said, you want me to go to church and act like that when I'm already acting like that? I don't need to go to church then. Makes sense? Maybe. Does it? I don't know. You be the judge of yourself today. Today is being the judge of yourself day. If you're thinking about Jesus, it's kind of hard to sin. If you're in thanksgiving to the Father and to the Son, the living King, it's kind of hard to sin. No one makes you sin but yourself. That old phrase, the devil made me do it. No, the devil didn't make you do nothing. He just presented it. You wanted it. So if you want something bad enough, you go to work, you save up. These days, what does the devil do? Credit, 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 credit. Fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. We are so fast. We are running so fast. It is not even funny how fast forward we are. People talk about, I remember when the first self-checkout came out. People were so confused. People bypassed it. And I remember a cashier telling me once, I'm so glad this is going to alleviate. I said, don't be too glad, because it's going to take your job away. And look today, truck stops have them, almost little convenience stores, Dollar General has them. I mean, it's becoming the new now. Everybody's programmed. See, the devil just programs you, and you think it's okay. It's okay to put Americans out of work. It's okay to have robots. It's okay to be in the life that we want to be in. No, it's not. It's not okay. Because what happens? We complain. Nobody's doing anything. The world's getting worse and worse. Well, yes, the Bible says it. You go into Luke and read Luke. I want to say it's chapter 2 or chapter 3, verse. My goodness, I think it's 24 and 25. Can't remember. But anyways, read Luke. Go in there and look what Jesus is really saying. I'm not going to tell you. I really want you to go in there, because I want you to get the habit of going in there. I want your curiosity to go on the curiosity of what does God say to me today? See, the Lord told me a couple weeks back, there will be times of changes. If technology fails, are you prepared for that? We're going back, way back, what everybody calls snail mail. You think about snail mail, you think about back in the day, they had to walk. And then you had the postal power service was delivered on horses. Western Express, the name of the bank. But look, there's truth behind that. That covered wagon hauled mail. Well, there you go. How much snail can you get? I think that was snail mail. Today we got powers at our hands. We got emails. We got text messages. We got Zoom calls. Everything under the sun. Technology is at the palm of our hands. We wake up. We go to bed. We wake up in the middle of the night. Did somebody reply to my message on Facebook? Did somebody reply to my messages on Yoville? And then I've heard people get upset. I replied to all your stuff. How come nobody replies to my stuff? That's sad. I mean, truly, that's sad. That you would go through life just liking someone's comments or going through because you want to be accepted. You know, the Lord speaks clearly about our behavior and about what it takes to get into the kingdom. Go read Luke. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You know, it's right before it goes to the fact of this. I assure to you, Peter, you will deny me 3 times before the rooster crows. Are you willing to lay down your life? Are you willing to just look at yourselves and look at your household before it's too late? Rewind a little bit, verses back. It talks about drunkenness. It talks about acting up. Nothing wrong with drinking beer. Nothing wrong with having a glass of wine. The Bible doesn't say that, no. The problem is, think about it. What is man's law? Today we drink one, maybe a couple sips of another one, depending on the size. You're looking at an 8-ounce glass. I know the DOT goes off of, I think it's an 8-ounce glass. Don't quote me. It's either 8 or 12. Let's just say 12 for the sake of argument here. A 12-ounce glass. I think it is 12 ounces because it's 8 hours for it to get out of your system. 12 ounces of beer. 8 hours to get out of your system. And you're considered legal again. Well, Jesus says to uphold the law unless it interferes with God's. So, we know. Now, What if you're not driving? Okay, well, let's go down that avenue. Because somebody's going to say something. Somebody's going to ask. And you know what I'm going to say. Glad you asked. Let's just say we're at a party. It's a Christmas event. You know, people are showing up from the company, and you got the big shots there, and everybody's having a good time. You know, the idea is not to talk about work. The idea is to talk about families and what you're going to do on the time off, and so on, so on, so on. It's kind of like you get to know, but it's also you just kick back and relax. Have some fun for once. Oh no, I can't do that. Somebody might see me. Trust me, if you're drinking a lot in a bar, Brad Paisley song, Making White Men Dance. I forget the name of the song. It says it all. Oh, I think it's actually called Alcohol. I'm not telling you this to go listen to the song or anything like that, but I'm just saying. I believe that's the name of it, and it's amazing what truth to that song is. It makes us do what Jesus says not to do. So now, why am I telling you all this? Because I want you to really think hard about this. What if you're intoxicated and you're not thinking rational and you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing? And you drink another one. Now, what if you're in there and Jesus comes? Are you going to think about repenting? What about if you're trying to hook up with some girl, or you're trying to hook up with some guy for the night? Maybe the alcohol led into something else besides now you're doing that. Maybe you're smoking a little something you shouldn't be smoking. Maybe you're doing other things. I used to tell people all the time when they'd ask, what was it like when you guys had parties and stuff? I said, majority of the people came in, and it basically, you got the drinking, you started looking around thinking, who am I taking home tonight? Who's going to have sex with me tonight? That's the truth. See, I was never like that. And I thank God today that I wasn't. You know, because it shows who you are as a person. And it shows what you've been through. My first marriage was a nightmare. I was accused of more things and went through more nonsense than I care to shake a stick at. That's okay, because I deliver all that. I let all that go. I surrender all that. And I give it all to God. Today I'm able to pray for my ex-wife. It took me a long time, people. A long time. Now I think about everything that I've done wrong, said wrong to people, or thought wrong thoughts. Now I'm asking for, even if it crosses my mind, thank you, Lord, for bringing that to my attention. Let me come with my heart pure and repent to you. See, Jesus is looking for repentance right now. You know, we're so fearful of what's going to happen in grocery stores. Something going to shut down. I mean, I can go back to, I just stopped yesterday to get fuel inside the car. And I'm driving. I'm looking, I'm making sure the light hasn't came on yet, because I was extremely low, and I'm driving. And I remember Darlene saying fuel there was $3.19 a gallon. Everywhere else I'm looking at is 350, 340s, 330, and I'm going, okay. So I'm driving and I'm looking and I'm watching the gauge drop, and I'm going, man, I probably should at least stop and put something. And I said, no, I'll make it. Now, what's the first thing we want to do? We want to speed up. To hurry up. We think speeding up is going to answer. It's going to be the answer, the solution to that problem. No, speeding up and accelerating and letting off, accelerating and letting off, accelerate. You're actually burning more fuel. That's why they say when you travel, use cruise control. Maintain a certain speed. The speed limit's 70 and you set your cruise control for 66, 67. People are going to go around you because they want to do 75. Because we have the rights to do 5 miles over. No, technically you're speeding. 1 mile over the maximum speed limit. What's the max? Don't do it. Luckily, cops give you a grace of 5 miles over. Some cities won't. Some city cops won't. To them, you're speeding. And technically you are. See, we speed through life because this playground we're on is the best amusement ever. It has everything we want. But what it don't have is Jesus, because it's losing more and more. We're not willing to come and lay our lives down at his feet anymore. Oh, he's not going to come my lifetime. I got plenty of time. Well, you might as well go sit at the table of the drunkens, because what if he comes right now? Right now. I mean, right now. Up on that cloud, and the names are being called. Once the names are being called, there's no repentance. I don't know if some of you realize this, but there is no repentance at this point. It's not going to happen. You had an opportunity. What about the thief on the cross? What about it? I'm not saying the Lord won't say, okay, but he goes to the Father. And what does it say? I come to receive the ones my Father has given me. You really got to think about this. See, this is the problem with churches today. Nobody wants to speak about this stuff. Nobody wants to speak about hell. Nobody wants to speak about the hard times that we're on. It's everybody's fault. It's the government's fault. This fault. This person's going to save us. Now they got another person that is a family member of a former president running. They're not the solution. They're people that make mistakes like we do. If you ask me, I think they should be paying taxes too. I think half the people on the Senate, well, not half of them, I think the Senate, the House, all of them, governors, whatever. I don't know if governors pay taxes. I really don't, so I can't really say that. But if anybody does know, you can comment on this. I think they should pay taxes. I don't think anybody should be exempt from paying taxes. Why does everything got to fall on our laps? I think everybody should pay taxes. If you're going to make one person pay, then everybody, it's the same across the board. I think because you're up in a higher ranking, you made the laws to work for you, not for us. When some of us are out here struggling very bad daily. I think of Darlene when she goes into the food pantry. You know, today I'm heading up because I got to do a DOT hair and urine test. Okay. Part of me thinks that she wanted to come with me. And that would have been nice because it's a long drive. I got to drive almost 2.5 hours to get to this place. It's the closest place that they have for me to go. So, lucky all you, I get to tell you what the things the Lord has been speaking. But I think about the faithfulness of her going in there. The faithfulness that she has for Jesus. Now, I'm not saying everything, but for the majority of the part, she's a reasonable person. You know, she's a mold in progress. We all are. And there's some things that she doesn't like about herself. And she's working on that with Jesus. I may not know all the things, but I do pray for her. Like this morning. I laid down there and I was just, didn't want to get out of bed. And I just laid there and prayed. You know, there's a lot of Bibles in our house. There's Bibles we got a table downstairs, an actual dining room table, / bedroom / living room / everything. You know, anything I don't have down there is a microwave, coffee pot, whatever. But anyways, there's a Bible in our bathroom. Seriously. In our dining room. In our living room. Everywhere we go. It's kind of hard to tell Jesus I didn't have time to read today. We have a TV dang near in every room. We got 2 TVs downstairs. TV over our fireplace. TV in the dining room. When we're doing like puzzles and stuff like that, we can watch teachings or watch video or something. Most of the time it's the baking shows or the storage things or the pallet buying things. But you think about it. I mean, really think about it. How much time do you spend? If you can learn to have your focus on Jesus, okay? Have your focus on Him, your life, and you live that life like He did. It's going to be kind of hard for someone to say, well, I don't believe you're going to go to heaven. Well, if you cast out all the wicked stuff out of your life, and I know a lot of you might say, man, no, I got so much money wrapped up in this. So did I. So did I. I couldn't sleep too well last night, so I was going through the streaming stuff. And granted, we pay for the internet, we pay for the Roku thing, whatever that is. I think it's like $7, $8 a month. And everything else is streamed, like Discovery and all that stuff. So we have a lot of different apps on there that you can get free movies. Now, granted, they're all older movies. So I'm scrolling through everything and I'm looking. Can't find anything that even... One movie I started watching, I'm going, nope. Because there's some choice words in there and there's adult content of behavior that, but we know what adults do. So these days these kids know way more than what we should ever know or what they should know at their ages. Some of these kids know more than what we do. That's a scary thought. But look what we're allowing in there. Again, God's taken out, evil comes in. You just gotta look at life and look at yourself. Stay focused. Go in there and look at your cabinets. Go in there and look at what you have in your refrigerator. When you put a dinner on a table, try taking everybody's phones and putting them in a bucket. Put a lid on it, one of them Tupperware bowl things or whatever they're called these days. Storage containers. Put them in there, put a lid on it. Make everybody silence their phones. Put a lid on it and set it off to the side. And look at some of the topics. It's probably going to be awkward. Seriously. But you know what I find amazing around the holidays is people want to turn to Hallmark and watch these Hallmark movies of families getting together and talking and, you know, the chaos of it and stuff, because that's reality. We all deal with that. Or do you watch the ones where the kids are too busy now because the mom's no longer around, and you know, and you see shows like that and you go, yeah, that's my life. And it kind of makes you sad. And if it makes you sad, you see what happens. Depression, alcohol, whatever other substance that falls into place. Well, instead, you can change that and lift it up to Jesus. And it's not going to matter who walks through your door or who doesn't walk through your door. It's not going to matter what's going on around you, because you're at peace. He fills you full of His peace. You realize you're truly walking that walk with Jesus. You can even ask for that to be done in your life. You can ask for change. You can ask for peace. You can ask for the comfort. You can ask for a job. What job do you have for me, Lord? And wait. Don't get upset because you didn't get a promotion at work, or you didn't get that position you wanted. Maybe you're going to get that permission, that promotion. Maybe you're going to get that position. Maybe not at that company. Or maybe not just quite yet then. Maybe the person that got it you know very well, and you're talking to them months down the line because you're so upset with them. You couldn't believe they got it. And now it's their fault. And then you hear how horrible it is. And you're leaving at 5 o'clock and they're, oh no, hey, do you still want to go play pool tonight? No, I can't. I got to finish up this and I got to get this report done, and I fell behind over here because I had to take care of this issue today. So you guys go ahead. Now all of a sudden you start looking at your life going, man, I'm so glad I don't have to do that. But are you in thanksgiving with the Lord and our Father? Thank you for not allowing me to go through that door. Thank you for holding me back. I look forward to seeing what you have for me when it's my time, when I'm ready. There's a purpose, there's a plan for it, and there's a reason for it. If you live by that and let everything else fall, it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. I know frustrations it always seems like everything seems to happen at once. And it's not that it's happening all at once. It's there. We just ignore it. Low tire pressure. It'll be good. Oil needs change. It'll be good. Now you got 2 warning lights. Cooling slow. Now all of a sudden, you got all these problems. They all act up at once. Well, because you were avoiding to listen. You were avoiding to do the work. Sometimes when we ask for something in our lives, you may have to do the work. Sometimes the Lord just gives it to you. Here's your gift. You're ready for it. I don't want anything that I'm not ready for. I don't want anything I'm not ready for because I don't want to take the chance of wasting the gift that I received. He says, the inheritance from my Father is yours. He's given us His inheritance. You can pray for all kinds of things. Pray for people. Pray for peace to be in their lives. Keep praying. Pray until something happens. People, what part of that don't we understand? We're so anxious to go out and wait in line for hours and hours and hours when they used to do, here's the number, whoever has the 200. We have 200 PlayStation 17s out. If you don't have a ticket, you can't get one. Okay. But you're willing to wait in line. But you're not willing to pray until something happens. Your mind's set on that, you're going to go stand. You're going to make sure you're in that line. You're even counting when you get there. I heard something the other day, and it kind of made me sit back and go, They were talking about DVDs and movies and stuff like that. Oh, it was on a pallet flip thing that we were watching. And, he says movies and stuff, people are streaming everything today. That's why the video stores and all that stuff are closed down. They realized people were buying and streaming. That's why the movie theaters are closing down. It's becoming a thing of the past, like everything else. But one thing that remains the same: God's promises. You know, it says in a particular book that you go and read, that I mentioned earlier, the heavens and the earth will fade away, but the words will never fade. And I thought about that this morning. And I thought about, you know what, that is the truth of that. You could think back in a lot of things when you were little. Things that you truly remember, not just hearing people talk about, because sometimes you hear people talk about stuff and you go, do you really remember that? Or you just remember hearing someone tell you? Oh no, I totally remember. What house was you at? I don't know. What'd you have on? I don't know. Who found you? I don't know. You just remember hearing the story about it. Or you could truly remember. I remember hearing a person talk once, and I'm sitting there thinking in my head going, well, if that person passed away at this age, that would have put you about 13 at the time that person would have passed away. That means you would have had to been born before this time. It's impossible because we're the same age. And I know I wasn't born at that time, so if I wasn't born at that time, you're not born at that time, so there's no way you could have knew that person. It's crazy. I mean, literally crazy. But you see how fast we can take in something. Why am I going there? Glad you asked. Because if we can remember stuff like that, we can remember the stuff that Christ did on this earth for us. And that can keep us walking a straight and narrow path. Because I think sometimes people forget truly what he did. And truly what he gave. I think of that song, Some Gave All. He gave it all, people. He didn't give some. The Lord gave all. So, are you ready? Are you convincing yourselves that what your lifestyle you're in, you're good? See, I don't like good. I want certain. I never was a gambling man. I don't want to gamble on good. That's a good car over there. You don't ever drive it. Well, it's broke down. But it was a good car. What's wrong with it? I don't know. Broke down. I had it towed home. It doesn't sound so good. Oh, it was a good car. Okay. It's been sitting there for years now. Yeah, I don't want to get rid of a good car. Well, it doesn't seem so good to me if it's just sitting. A paperweight's only good if the wind's blowing. And it's only good if you put it on the stack of papers. If you leave it on the desk as a decoration and your papers are blowing all over the place, then you have nobody to complain to but yourself. The Lord says, here I am. Coming this way. Let me calm the storms, ye of little faith. How much longer must I be here? I mean, we can go down the line. Life is a roller coaster, people. And you got to understand, each day, each thing that we do, each step, the devil's lurking. We don't have to worry. Worry is not in God's vocabulary. I'm telling you right now. We don't have to be fearful. Only thing I'm fearful of is what God's capable of doing. I'm fearful of hell. I don't want to go back there. So today I'm trying my hardest not to have a bad thought, not to allow someone to push my buttons, not to allow anything if it's not a godly thought. And if it's a person that claims to have a godly walk, well, I go back to the fig tree then. Let's come back. If this tree does not produce fruit, let's cut it down. Well, take it out of my life then, Lord. I don't need it. I don't need 20 lemon trees when I'm trying to make applesauce. I think I must look at what the Lord gave me and go, well, I need to make lemonade now, or lemon meringue, or make lemon bread or something. Whatever it is, it better have a lemon, or I'm not going to succeed. Like right there. Well, I mean, a little deer just walking along, grazing. I mean, do you take the time to really be thankful that we get to see that stuff? I seen a little bunny rabbit, as my pal Georgie says, fluffy tail. Fluffy tail. Makes you kind of smile. I remember looking out windows as a child and seeing them run across the yard. I got so excited, people. Let me tell you this. I really did. I got so excited. I've been asking the Lord for lightning bugs. And the other night, we're sitting there, and I wasn't really helping anymore in the puzzle. I was trying, but when I get tired, I really can't focus a lot on a lot of things. As most people, I would say, probably. And I looked out the window, and I seen this thing light up, and I was like, a lightning bug. I got so excited. And I'm like, Darlene, look, lightning bug. And I don't know if she really got excited or did get excited. I can't really remember too much about that, but, you know, it might not just been her thing, you know? I mean, but it's the fact that, she got a little bit excited for me. But you can see. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong when she gets excited about something and I'm not excited about it. I'm excited with her because she's excited. There's nothing wrong. There's no faking that. There's nothing wrong with being like that. You're not deceiving anybody. You're just celebrating with their happiness. But when was the last time you really looked at something and got excited? I mean, we got this bird nest in our tree. I trimmed a little bit of the branches away from the windows, but I won't trim the tops until the bird's done. And I hung up, we got this metal cage thing that you put those blocks of, like, whatever, the bird seat block looking things down inside there, and the birds peck through. Well, I did that because she likes watching the birds. So if she likes watching the birds, dang it, I was looking for my nose thing, but it's almost like I need to crack my nose. It's going to drive me crazy. This is why, people, I do what I do. Try to help people not have to go through what I go through. Like today, my hands are so stiff. They hurt so bad. But I'm not focusing on that. I'm focusing on thanking God that I still can move my hands. Thanking God that I'm still, He's giving me the ability to go back and do something that I love. I love doing landscaping. I like taking terrible things and making it look good. I like bringing my visions and my thoughts and making someone's yard look nice. And I'm thankful that he's giving me this time to do it. But old man winter's coming around the corner, and you move forward what we believe that is God's purpose, plan, and reason. So it's not like the first time a business has came and gone. It's time to move on. See what God has next. But I'm grateful for the time. Yeah, it's kind of nice being your own boss. Not kind of, it's actually really nice. I mean, seriously, you go to work when you want, get the work done. You know, I used to be one of them people that got to be on their jobs early. I can get on the job early, knock out what I need to go and go do something else, get that job done. But I'm not 20 anymore either. You know, there's a big difference. Time never changes, but we do. Tomorrow, time may exist, it just may not exist for you. You may go out here and some fool is texting and driving, or drunk driving, or under the influence of whatever, or simply distracted by a phone ringing, texting and driving. I think I said that. But are you ready? Are you ready? Billboard up here. Beyond reasonable doubt, Jesus is alive. Amen. Amen. Doesn't matter what people think. We went bowling the other night. My sister, my brother-in-law, Darlene, myself. And it was fun. It was actually nice to spend some time with my sister. You know, really, I can't even remember the last time. You know, and I know what the devil's trying to do. You know, trying to keep her from hearing the word, being in the word. So what happens? The chaos of the other family members that causes that division. Because they're right. Well, what is right? Just because you're right don't mean you're right. You say, well, how is that possible? Well, think about it. If it's not aligned with God's word, if it's not in that line, even if it's a centimeter off of that line, it's not God's word. Just some food for thought, people. You want change in your life? Start changing today. Start changing what goes on in your household. Men, wake up. Stop allowing this unordered lifestyle to come into your household. Women, stop trying to dominate your household, especially if you're a Christian wife. The Bible's clear on what we're supposed to do. And if you can't do it for Jesus. Ask him. Pray for that. My gosh, we can pray to win the lottery. We can pray for a new car. We can pray for this vacation. We can pray for everything under the sun. But we can't pray for forgiveness. We can't pray for peace. We can't pray for the truth and understanding of something. We can't pray, what do you have for me today? Because it might not fit your agenda. Might not. Well, if it doesn't fit God's, then we shouldn't be doing it. It's kind of like that commercial. It's my money and I want it now. Really? What are you going to do with it? Because nothing's ours. We are just stewards over it. We are just responsible. You can raise your kids in Christian homes. They turn out to be the baddest of the worst. Just because you've done something right, it's up to them to continue. But then again, are you watching what's coming in your household? Probably not. Because men, you're taking a back seat. And you're allowing the enemy to take control of your house. It's sad, but it's true. A lot of state troopers out today. Well, hopefully you're receiving something out of this. Probably the first time I've came into a communication with you like this, because I really want this stuff to sink in. Don't struggle on earth and then end up in hell and suffer. There's a difference between struggling and suffering. I lived enough pain on this earth. I don't want to live more and worse than what I'm ever going to receive here on earth. So let's just take this day, lift it up, and give it to Him. Lay it at Jesus' feet. Heavenly Father, we praise You. Father, we thank You for this opportunity. We thank You that we can come freely and still worship You. We thank you that our lives are in your hands. Lord, I speak of this. I know for myself, I put my life under your authority. I give you my free will. I mess it up every time I grab a hold of that rein and try to maneuver my free will. Lord, I ask for peace, joy, and happiness in this day. Move me, Lord, accordingly to the pathway that the Father has created for me today, from the time of my birth to where I'm at today. Lord, let them footprints that I watch, let them be of yours, and I'm thankful that you planted out these footsteps so I can stay on track, stay in where you are, but most of all, I thank you for coming back and walking with me and spending time with me. I thank you for loving me. I thank you for correcting me. I thank you for the discipline in my life. I'm thankful for the removal of anything. Never let me go back, Lord, and seek something that you have taken without permission from it to come back. No matter what it is, I accept the removal out of my life. I accept you into my life, every part of my life, 100%. Every door, here's the keys to my life. Take them, Lord. Lead me out of temptation, Lord. Deliver me from the evil one's tricks and scheme. Protect me in this day. And let me glorify your name in the Father's. And let me live a godly life in a sinful day. Thank you, Lord, for going to the cross, and thank you for being with me. And thank you for being with those that call out to you. In your precious, holy, glorious name, I lift these things up to you. Amen. All right, guys, till the next one. God bless you. Seek yourselves and have the Lord examine you if you need help. Till the next one.